All right, back with the fellas and plenty to dive into here between the Eagles and the Giants always, but we look for turning points in football games, and I want to present one. 7-7, fourth down and a yard. We know what's coming. The tush push, not stopped, but the ball ripped out of the hands of Jalen Hurts. Take me through, JJ, the difficulty in officiating this play and specifically this moment here.
I think we just saw the death of the tush push. Now, look, they're going to allow teams to continue doing the push sneak play for the rest of the season. But in the offseason, I have no doubt in my mind that NFL team owners are going to vote this play out.
It has to be.
It was 2 votes shy back in May. And Jeffrey Lurie, the owner of the Eagles, and Jason Kelsey, they gave this big impassioned speech at an owners meeting. Ultimately, it fell 2 votes shy. It will not fall 2 votes shy when they bring this up at the annual meetings in March. It will be voted out because what we have seen is last year they said, all right, the injury rate, we're worried about guys getting injured. The injury rate was at 0 last year. Well, now we started to see injuries on the push play, so there's that. We have seen so many missed false starts. We didn't have one today, but we've seen guys go early and it's not called. And officials say it's really hard seeing that mass of bodies and who goes early in a bang-bang play without the benefit of slow motion. And so now we've seen that. And now, what is clearly a fumble, and wasn't an early whistle, I'm not going to fault the referees, actually, for blowing the whistle because you have to protect players from getting absolutely blasted by defensive players coming in there late in the play. So I understand the idea of a whistle. This is clearly Jalen Hurts attempting to get more yardage to convert. And Kayvon Thibodeau making a football play on what a lot of people believe is not a football play. The tush push is in its last season, and it just died because of that.
Even in a situation where you're protecting players, your occupational hazard in this play is deciding to call it, Mac. How do you, as a former player, look at this one? We're waiting for a player to make a play, hoping for someone to show us how to stop it. We see it, and it's stopped by the referees.
That's the unfair part about this. Kayvon Thibodeau made a great play because of the effort that Jalen Hurts was trying to display. Like you said, he was trying to make sure he secure the conversion. So he put the football out, no different than doing it across the goal line. Because if this was a goal line play, would they have said, you know what, his forward progress, stop, no touchdown? No, they would have rewarded the Eagles with a touchdown. So this should be the same mindset in between the 20s, because you can say whatever you want to say about it happening in the first quarter. There was still many opportunities for the Giants to come get over that call and still win the ball game. It's about momentum. It's about momentum. The momentum would have clearly shifted in favor of the Giants if they was rewarded that fumble. But outside of that, because they took the play away, 2 or 3 plays later, guess what happened? They scored a touchdown. You talk about a potential 14-point swing. Yeah. If that turnover was rewarded to the Giants and they go down and score. But because that didn't happen, guess what? The Eagles scored, and that started that snowball coming downhill, and it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And I agree with everything you said, because if the officials have issues officiating the play should not be in the game.
That's right. And not only that, Mac, I'll take it a step further. When running backs have the ball and they're in a pile, what they allow people to do? Push the pile forward. Yep. That's exactly what was happening on that play. The forward progress has never stopped.
Because they were pushing him.
And on top of that, Jalen thought he was short, so that's why he stuck the ball out. And Thibodeau did a great job of raking the ball out of there. That was a fumble, no doubt about it. I agree with everyone on this table. The play should be taken out because the refs don't understand or don't know how to officiate the play. False starts almost each and every week, none today. But that play right there clearly was a fumble that was taken away from the Giants.
We've seen moments that will be brought to the table when that vote does come down. This feels like the straw that should break the camel's back in terms of getting this play out of the NFL. It's a tough one to watch, but we did have a football game from that point on. And in the end, 15-20, 179, and 4 touchdown passes for Jalen Hurts. You have a running back that goes for 150 on 10 per pop in Saquon Barkley. The Eagles, for a second consecutive week, Mac, looking like the defending champs.
Yeah, the Eagles offensively throwing the football second straight week where Jalen Hurts was wheeling and dealing. Now Saquon Barkley decided to say, you know what, y'all ain't about to have no fun without me.
Let me show up.
Let me show you guys. I got a 2-step left also. And he got involved. Now we saw him pull up a little bit lame in the fourth quarter. To your point, JJ, they have a bye week, so we have an opportunity to see a weeks of rest for Saquon. Right. But this is what we visualize this offense looking like in a day where they did not have A.J. Brown. He didn't miss A.J. Brown. So Saquon Barkley was outstanding, 150. You talked about the 4 passing touchdowns from Jalen Hurts. I mean, when they're rolling and moving around like this is a championship caliber team, and this is what we expect to see from this offense moving forward.
Yep.
Pat, when we're talking about a guy like Cam Skattebo and where the New York Giants currently are, you've been in locker rooms that are struggling to get it going or bring a group together, and so much of their identity was in the quarterback and in the running back. What does this loss mean to the Giants?
This is a huge loss for this New York, the G-men. This is a huge loss for them because ever since these guys was inserted into the lineup, they just brought new energy, new hope, new fire, and the team was galvanizing around that. You just saw how excited the team was to be out on the field, and now missing one of their two-headed, spark plugs, it's going to be difficult for the Jets moving forward. But Skattebo, he definitely was the bloodline for this Jets, the Giants team. Let's see if they can have a call upon someone else to pick up his load.
It's going to be difficult because this is also a Giants team now 2-6, right? And they have the Niners coming up after this, right before the trade deadline. And so we were talking a week and a half ago about the Giants potentially being buyers at the trade deadline. They may be sellers at the trade deadline. They had Jalen Hyatt as a healthy scratch today. There may be other pieces that teams are looking around at the Giants for, because I don't know that they'll do anything this week. But if they go into the Niners game next week and lose that and turn into 2-7, they very well may be selling off some pieces looking ahead to 2026.
Yeah, it's been a tough stretch since that first win over the Eagles. A loss and then another, and a loss within that loss. Cam Skattebo with a dislocated ankle will miss the remainder of the season. 150 plus, a touchdown and a receiving touchdown in a game. Well, Saquon didn't have to jump over anyone backwards in this one, but Eagles fans may be doing front flips.